People look at us as, connectivity with trading tools, but with world-class order management systems, with that power market being very firmly established, with those post-trade tools that are being used by, tier one banks globally. As we go forward, the next 2 or 3 years, I expect that the market is going to shift a little bit. And as we go into that multi-asset world and go, across the wider part of the life cycle, we're seeing a lot of our customers doing the same thing. Futures and options is absolutely, still going to be a key part, a large part of what we do. But I think instead of people saying, well, I'm trading futures, I'm trading spot products, I'm trading OTC, they're really just going to be saying, I'm trading power products on TT, I'm trading rates on TT. Whether that is through this instrument or that instrument, we're trying to be much more aligned to that economic user, give them the tools that they need, whether they are hedging or speculating on the work that they're doing.
How does Trading Technologies' acquisition of OpenGamma help clients?
The initial benefit for everybody is the OpenGamma tools allow for better use of capital. Better use of capital allows for more trading. So that side of it makes it a very, very natural fit to us. One or two of the things that perhaps surprised us a little bit is that very quickly, and it's only 2 or 3 months in, we actually started to get into some post-trade integration. So we've got a number of use cases where our TT clearing platform, what used to be ATEO and Lisa, is now integrating with the OpenGamma margin analytics so that firms can better manage their intraday risk during the give up and claim process. That is a use case that we'd sort of thought about, but we hadn't realized quite how attractive that was going to be for some of our customers, and that's one thing that's already started to happen. We also expect pretty quickly to be able to take trading suggestions that come from the OpenGamma platform and just feed them directly in as suggested orders or care orders into TT, into our order management system. We've got a few things that are already integrating. We've only had people onboarded in TT for a few months, but things are moving pretty quickly.
Where will we see OpenGamma capabilities show up first in the TT platform?
It starts off with very simple two-way integration. These suggested trades that come from OpenGamma feeding in as sort of care orders or staged orders into the TT platform, and that's something that we'll see happen pretty quickly. But as we move forward fairly soon, there are already what-if tools within OpenGamma, so being able to take an order, put that through, see what the margin impact of that trade is going to be within a different widget on the TT platform that essentially is just a window into OpenGamma. That's something that we expect to see later on in the year, and that way I think it gives more visibility and control to those traders or PMs on the front office who really want to know, well, if I do this, I see what the economics of it are, but what are the capital implications? So I think that that's a very powerful trading tool that we're expecting to see pretty quickly.
What is driving TT's push into energy markets?
We come at it from the futures and options space. So, TT has always been a market leader in futures trading and those energy products, whether it's on Euronext, whether it's on ICE, whether it's on all of the other markets. And in the end, it was some of those large institutions using our tools for futures who were saying, we would like to extend this out into the intraday market, into the spot power market. As we've done that, we've seen that the existing tools that are out there are perhaps not quite as sophisticated and not quite as integrated with the futures market as we have at TT. So we're seeing a huge amount of client demand on getting onto those platforms for the intraday trading. That starts off in Europe, which is where I think the bulk of that intraday trading is happening today. But with the success that people have seen there, not just with the energy providers, it's also some of the strategic hedge funds are in that space as well. We're now beginning to see that those same sort of markets are expanding out into Japan, Australia, and most recently into the US as well.
What client demands drove TT into adding NSE Connectivity?
We are aiming to connect to exchanges and other liquidity venues globally. One of the really powerful things about the TT network is that we do have our own physical connections to all of these major markets. Within NSE, the trading rules make that a little bit different, but we're very pleased that we're now there as an impaneled vendor. We are native and co-located in the NSE. We are testing at the moment and going to be going live later in the year. And we see two distinct groups of people who are interested in that. Our existing customers of international firms wanting to trade that market, inbound trading, if you like, on those where that's allowed is a big part of it. But we're also seeing a lot of interest from domestic Indian players. We have had a presence in India for a longest period of time, and that's a business presence as well, right? So we're seeing quite a lot of the firms where, perhaps their native technology that they're using at the moment isn't as sophisticated as the order management systems that we've got at TT.
How is TT evolving its clearing solutions to help clients manage post-trade challenges?
This is a space that's moving very quickly, and we don't pretend that TT at the moment has got all of the answers and all of the solutions for what is required there. So what we are doing is bringing to the market tools where we have got things. So with our clearing engine, which has got very good uptake and used pretty widely for that clearinghouse connectivity, with the margin analytics being able to calculate what IM is, what a requirement is for posting collateral. And then of course we've got confirmation and affirmation platforms post-trade as well. We want to be able to work with other people in that ecosystem to connect up with partners so that firms can really put a best of breed solution in place, and we're very happy to do that. We don't think that a single monolithic post-trade platform is the right way to go going forward, and having flexibility as the markets move, as market structures move, is a key part of what we're trying to bring to the table.